Hi guys, so in today's video I'm going to be showing you the dupes for some popular products that I found. Some of these dupes were my own that I just personally picked out of my makeup collection, and some of these dupes I had seen before. These, for example, this one has been going around YouTube like a lot, so I put this to the test. Also the Tarte versus the Revlon concealer. I think those were honestly the only two that I was like, oh, those two I'm gonna have to test out because I don't know. But yeah, if you're interested to see which one I prefer, then make sure you keep on watching. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna be comparing is something that has been going around here on YouTube. I have heard a lot of people make this claim, which I'm gonna put to the test today, and that is this Revlon Conceal and Define Concealer, and then this one is the Tarte Shape Tape. I've personally worn them separately, never together, but I would say it's not a dupe. However, I think it is the closest thing we have to the Tarte Shape Tape. So I'm gonna go ahead and put them to the test side by side just to see and really compare them. This side is gonna be drugstore, and then this side, or like the affordable side, the dupe side, and then this is gonna be like the high end, the thing we're duping. I believe this is $27. The price keeps going up like every 6 months. I swear the first time I bought it, it was like $24. So chill, Tarte, okay? It's not like you're gonna go broke anytime soon. And for the other eye, I'm gonna be using the shade Light Medium. The dupe that I'm gonna be testing out was this Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette and this WetNWild Rose in the Air palette. I mean, these are the exact same shades. These are 10. There's 4 shades that are not in this palette that are not dupes. The one that's not a dupe, I feel like it would be this one. This one we don't have a dupe. This one we don't have a dupe. This red, Vanadian red. 4 shades that are not duped. So I'm gonna go ahead and use all of the ones that are duped. And I also tested this out on my one brand tutorial for WetNWild. And I was actually not impressed by the quality of these eyeshadows, so I actually think they're not dupes. They're dupes for the colors, they're not dupes for the quality, which is what really matters in the end, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. I'm going to be using these fluffy brushes. I feel like they're very similar, so I'm going to be using them, one for the drugstore version and then one for the high-end version. As you can see, there is a little bit of kickback, but I feel like the Modern Renaissance has a lot more. So I'm just gonna pop this into my crease. I actually think it's more like raw sienna rather than orangey. I'm gonna build up the WetNWild one just because I find that raw sienna is just a tad bit darker. In this red shade here on the WetNWild one, and this one does have a lot of kickback, as you can see. And then with this other blending brush, I'm gonna go into Red Ochre from the Anastasia palette. Okay, so right off the bat, these look like they blended together a lot better than on this eye. This one right here has kickback. Since I don't have another brush like this in my collection, I'm just gonna go ahead and clean it. Like I said, just so nobody complains. There's Umber from Anastasia, and I'm gonna smoke this out. Transition one more time and then just blend everything together. Go ahead and take raw sienna again, just to further blend everything out. Take this shade right here. I'm not gonna wet it or anything, I'm just gonna see how pigmented it is on it. With the Anastasia one, I believe this shade dupes for the Primavera. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and wet the Wet n Wild one. I'm gonna take Tempera, just this one right here. Oh my god. I almost put it on the Drugstore one. Here. So is a dupe a good alternative? Definitely is. I mean, especially when you're on a budget and you're just trying to get like really warm and pretty shades for the summer. I find that you would not struggle as much as you would struggle with this one. But like if you're barely starting with makeup and you want to just, you know, practice, I think this would be a good alternative just because, like, I mean, it is like a 1/10 of the price of this one. So, you know, it's very good for practicing and, you know, just kind of like starting your collection stuff. You would struggle less blending these shadows. Now, if you don't mind struggling a little bit more, putting in more work to make them look blended, because as you can see, I find that this one looks a lot more blended than this one. The next dupe that I have are primers. I have more than 2, and the 2 primers that I'm duping are these 2 right here. This is the Luminizer primer by Dr.Brandt, and this is the Wet n Wild Dewy primer. Now, I find out what is exactly the dupe for these. This says pores no more, which I agree. It kind of blurs out your pores and it looks really nice on the skin, but it makes the foundation look very dewy and nice, and that's what I'm duping. Now, this one not necessarily covers all your pores, but it's a lot more affordable, and I find that the sheen that these both give you is very similar. Like when I first tried this, I fell in love, but now this kind of replaced this one just because I do have a pore problem, don't get me wrong, but this one doesn't really blur out my pores with all foundations. You know, it's only certain foundations that I'm like, oh, okay, I really can't see my pores, you know what I mean? My eye cream on, so okay, so on this side I'm gonna be applying the Dr.Brandt because this is a high-end side. Just before I blend it, I want you to see the consistency of both of these. It's like literally the same thing. I also find out with the Dr.Brandt one, I need more to like cover my entire face. I don't know. So as you can see, both of these primers give me a really nice sheen. I find that the Wet n Wild one is a lot more intense than the Dr.Brandt one. So if you don't have pores, I find that you could definitely skip on this primer and just go with this one. But if you do have pores, I find that you could really benefit from this one. But like I mentioned, I do have a pore problem, and this one works with certain foundations. But as you can see on this side, you could still kind of see my pores. I don't know if you could tell. And then on this side, you obviously can see them a lot more. I also have another dupe for primers, and they are these 2 right here. This used to be my favorite primer of all time, and I honestly don't know why I stopped using it. I actually think it's because I was very dry for a very long time. Like my skin was just so dehydrated, and I was trying to get it like back. They're not necessarily hydrating primers, but they do hydrate you. They are hydrating. They do not dry you, but if you have dry skin, these do emphasize your dryness. Because it's not that it was drying, it was just emphasizing my dryness a lot. So if you're dry, just kind of taking that into consideration. If you're very dry, just make sure you moisturize a lot before this. I like this one because rosehip and argan oil, which really moisturizes my skin throughout the day and makes me not look dry whatsoever. The consistency of these two is very similar. One is the Optical Illusion Complexion Primer. This is the one with rosehip oil, Pore Perfecting. This one is the Angel Veil by NYX. I pretty much just focus this on my pore area and the places where I just want my skin to look the smoothest. Both sides of my skin feel so smooth. Were these two foundations. This one I really like because it's matte and it's a comfort matte. And it's a 14-hour wear, oil controlling, and photo friendly. Now this does not claim that like it doesn't emphasize your pores, and this one does claim that it's poreless, like it will cover your pores and stuff. But for this one I don't mind because, like I said, I use products that make my pores look smoother, so I don't mind that this doesn't claim that, and this is just like an extra bonus. But I find that the coverage is pretty much the same. Actually the colors are pretty much the same for these, and then like the consistency is pretty much the same. Applying the Too Faced Peach Foundation, and I am in warm beige for this foundation. I'm just gonna be applying it with my Eco 2 sponge. And what I like about the Too Faced one is that at the beginning it looks very dewy. Very dewy. It allows you to build it up and work as slow as you need it to. And then at the end it's when it looks matte. Like it takes a couple minutes for it to set. You see the coverage is medium, and I find that it's very buildable. So I'm gonna build it up a little bit more. It just doesn't have a pump, so I need to get a pump for it. Because I hate using my fingers for foundation. Oof. Cut it on my shirt. As you can see, this one's starting to dry out and looking like this one, and like as you can see, this one is also medium coverage and it's also buildable. To concealer to see if they're actually dupes, which I actually don't think they're dupes, but we're gonna see. And this is in the shade C8. I'm going to be using Tarte Shape Tape, of course, on in the shade Light Medium, and I'm not going to use that much because, I mean, you could see right away how creamy and like full coverage this is. I actually think it's the color concentration that just makes it like, wow. You can tell right away which one's which. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and set my face, and the powders that I found that were the closest dupe were Wowder and the Fit Me concealer. I'm gonna try to show you how they're pretty much look this. I'm gonna bake the sides of my nose just because they do get really oily and nasty. I'll let that powder sit in. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to bronzer. It's this Fit Me pressed powder in the shade Caramel Toffee and the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. Now, when you see these are obviously not the same color. This is the second to darkest shade in the Fit Me pressed powder, so I feel I feel, and I'm pretty sure that the darkest one is the dupe for this one, like the exact color dupe. But I find that when they go on to the skin, I find that they're almost like the same color. Just gonna be cleaning up the contour. The baking. For highlighter, a very exciting part is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector, and this is in the shade Prosecco Pop. Now, I received this in my BoxyCharm, and when I received it, it was bad. Hella broken. Okay, like I'm scared to even show you how messed up it is. I still use it time to time when I have time. So I'm gonna be using this highlighting brush right here. I'm gonna really have to get rid of all of the excess powder. And now, the dupe that I find it's the closest thing to like the Becca highlighters is this one right here. This is a butter bronzer by Physicians Formula, and I actually think this one is more intense. Blush, I'm gonna be using this Tarte blush in the shade Party. And then the dupe I find is the closest is this one by E.L.F. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and spritz myself. Okay, so for this side, I'm going to be using this Make It Dewy setting spray. And this Cover FX illuminating setting spray, which I actually don't like. I actually prefer the Milani one because you have to really shake it up. If not, you're going to end up with glitter on your face. Okay, so Benefit has those bundles where you could try some of their brow stuff. And there's different ones, and I got this one on one of the bundles, which is just like a travel size, precisely my brow. So I'm gonna be using this for this side and then this for this side, and I'm just gonna speed through this process just so we can get things out of the way. The shades that I used on top of my eyes for the bottom. So first, Raw Sienna. Eyeliner, like ever. I'm just kidding. But it's like the darkest one that I have, and in the drugstore I find that this is the darkest one that I have found that is like a pencil like this one. You know, because like the drugstore really doesn't have a lot of pencils like this. So I'm not going to do like a wing liner or anything. All I'm going to do is line my lash line. The one that lasts all day, like no matter what. And this Physicians Formula lasts like a really long time too. It is a lot harder. This is a lot like harder, and this is flimsier. So I find that flimsier is better, but you might like this one to be like a lot more precise with your wing. So it just personal preference. This Tarte lifted mascara by Tarte, and this Volume+Length mascara. This is actually not black, but I find that the bristles are so similar to each other. Let me just show you. And I love these mascaras a lot. So I'm gonna apply the Tarte one here. And now finally for lips, I think I have 2 dupes for this Tarte Lip Paint. This in the shade Bestie, and then these 2 is, one is the Ultra Matte Lip, and this is in the shade Buffy, and this is in the shade Praline. It is by E.L.F. Buffy. Alright, so this is the final look, you guys. I think it looks the same. Like, I really can't tell the difference other than in my eyeshadow. Like, hold up, I think my package is here. Thank you, thank you. This is the Soft Glam palette. Sorry guys, I was really excited, but stay tuned for a tutorial. Like, most of the stuff, I prefer the dupes. The only things that I really don't prefer the dupes is the Anastasia. The Anastasia one. I actually like this foundation a lot more than I like the Poreless one, but I find that they're very, very, very similar to each other. It's just, I don't know, I think I like this one better. I think it tricks me because of the dewiness at the beginning, and then it goes matte. Poreless just goes on really matte. So I feel like I reach for this one a lot more because it's lighter on my skin. Oh my god. Also the Tarte Shape Tape, no, it's not a dupe. Like, you could, like, it looks good. Like, both sides look good, don't get me wrong. Like, they both look decent, and you can't probably tell the difference a whole lot, but I can. Like, especially throughout the day. I've worn this concealer throughout the day, and it doesn't last as long, so like, I just don't think they're a dupe at all. Like, you could see, like, at the beginning when I was applying this one, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, like, it's cool and everything. I apply a lot less on the Tarte one, and it was like, it spread all the way over here. For these 2 over the dupes, I think these are good. I think these are worth investing on, to be completely honest, but the rest, no, from now on I'm gonna be purchasing the dupes. I really enjoyed making this video. It was really fun putting products to the test. So yeah, also don't forget to subscribe. I would really, really, really appreciate it. If you guys like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I would really, really appreciate it. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and hopefully I can see you on the next one. Bye.